Hi, everybody. And we are watching, you are watching Dream Big with Zhanna, inspiring you to reignite, refire, and refuel your life. And we're here to inspire you to grow your business, to not only business, but life in general. And today, I have a very special guest, and I'm glad to call her my friend and my mentor. It's Alina Vincent. Welcome,
Hi.
Alina. Hi.
Hi, it's a pleasure to be here.
Thank you so much for finding the time because I know you are almost finishing the challenge, right?
Yes.
Yes. So let me give, for people who don't know you, I would love to read your official bio just a little bit so
Sure.
that you guys know who is behind the business that she's in. So this is the official kind of several highlights of what she is doing. Alina Vincent is a business and technology strategist and founder of Business Success Edge, who is passionate about helping business owners package and monetize their expertise. Finding her zone of genius by combining a strong analytical background, which includes advanced science degrees, with creative vision, Alina works at the intersection of logic and imagination, giving you everything from practical research-driven systems and strategies to creative, original, and intuitive solutions. And yes, it sounds very impressive. And my personal flavor to that, I had the pleasure to be the first from the end client of Alina several years ago when she was still doing photography, marketing
Yes.
photography. And so, those of you who are watching right now, all my good pictures on social media are done by this amazing lady.
Yeah,
And
your
she
current profile is my picture too, right? Yeah.
exactly, and it gets the most number of likes. So thank you, thank you, thank you. So
Sure.
Alina, the question is, it's seemingly two unrelated businesses and industries.
Mhm.
So you were doing photography, you were at the university, and now all of a sudden you're the business owner. Could you please share the backdrop story?
All
What's the
right.
story?
A quick brief version, right? The Cliff's
Yes.
Notes. So basically, I grew up thinking I'm just gonna be a professor at the university, like my parents, like my grandparents. So I spent my 16 years getting degrees, teaching at the university, and I spent a lot of time learning how to create, how to teach, how to design courses. And I have degrees in like computer science and engineering and physics. And I thought that was kind of my direction. And then I started working as an instructional designer, creating online courses, putting them online. And right around the time when the economy started failing, um, I lost the ability to be creative because our university kind of collapsed and they started giving us more of just the normal everyday tasks like load the students here and make sure this PowerPoint button works. And it started to be boring. So that's when I said, you know what? I'm going to try something I've never even thought of in my life, and I'm going to start a business because I wanted to have no ceiling to how much I could earn. And I wanted to have the ability and the freedom to be creative and to do whatever I wanted to do with my life. And I said, how hard can it be to start a business? I have a degree in theoretical physics. And of course, I was in the shock of my life, realizing how much having a business has to do with marketing and understanding yourself and understanding your clients versus just being good at something. So I spent the first couple of years in my photography business learning everything I could about marketing. And I created a really successful business. That's kind of, you caught me on the end of it because what
Yeah.
started happening is I went from complete nobody, from being invisible, from having to chase after clients and beg them to work with me. I went to this kind of pretty well known photographer where people had they were flying from all over the country to, so I would take their pictures. And I found myself in sort of a victim of my own success because I've created a business that was not scalable. Everything that I was doing was one-on-one. So in order for me to make more money, I had to work more hours because as you can imagine, when you're doing photography, you're behind the lens, then you're editing the
Mm-hmm.
pictures, you're talking to clients, everything is one-on-one. Even if you're photographing groups, it's still all basically one-on-one. So, and that's when I said, that's not working for me. I need to come up with something that allows me to still connect with people, talk to them about their marketing, but do it in a way that I don't have a ceiling again. And that's kind of when you caught me and talked me into being my very last photography client and drove all the way to Reno. And I absolutely enjoyed that session. And we have some amazing pictures. But
Yeah.
that's when I went into the direction of creating online programs. Because
Yeah.
what I realized when and kind of realized that I have all this experience from my university career and from being an instructional designer, that when you take the knowledge and expertise out of your head and you package it in a way that people can access it and get results while you are completely removed from the process, then you can serve 100 people just as easily as you can serve 10 people. So it makes it so much more scalable, so much more leverage. So my business basically has been doubling for the last 4 years every year, and there's no stopping that.
Yes, yes, yes. Thank you so much for sharing the story. And you know what I love about it? For
Hmm.
people, if you guys are watching, those who are watching us right now or in the replay, just pay attention to what Alina just said. Like she had experience in so many different areas, and a lot of women, especially, are struggling. Alina, you can agree with me with okay, well, we're good at this and this and this and this, and they believe like there's no way, like which direction do they need to go? So could you address that a little bit, because you are genius about that, like you never eliminate anything,
Hmm.
you have a gift of bringing it all together into under one roof. So,
Hmm.
and I believe, was it the online programs, because that's the topic of our conversation today? Why do you believe that this is a necessary foundational piece? What worked for you? What are the challenges and what are the benefits?
Whoa, that's lots of
That's a
questions.
lot of
Okay,
questions.
let me
Yes.
start with just by kind of defining what I call an online program, because I
Mm-hmm.
know a lot of people create group coaching programs and they think they've created online programs because a lot of people use them interchangeably, and there is a huge difference between them. So if that's okay, I'll kind of define it so
Yes.
we all on the same page. So to me, online program is something that you create where you can remove yourself completely and the program still works. People can still go through it, people can still get the results, and it's not dependent on you being there doing live calls, doing coaching, or doing any kind of information or transformation delivery. A group coaching is heavily relies on you being there, on you delivering information live, on coaching, on answering questions. So if you can remove yourself completely out of the picture and your program still works, then you have an online program. If you remove yourself, like you get sick or you go on vacation, does the program stop? So decide that for yourself, and then you'll know if you've created something that just leverages your time or something that's scalable and completely independent from you. So to me, when you
Mm-hmm.
create an online program, there's so many different things happen because you have now a tangible piece of intellectual property. You can now deliver it to people, and people can get the results when you are on vacation, when you are traveling the world, while you're sleeping, and people can buy it, people can go through it, people can get the results. So the beauty of having an online program is now you have the business that can run independently from you. There's of course a lot of things, and you can always add extra calls, you can always add that, but it's not necessary. So
Mm-hmm.
I hope
Yes.
that distinction
That
is
that yes, absolutely. Yes,
it's
yes, yes.
important and clear. So what question do you want me to answer next?
What's the challenge? What's the challenge? Because yeah,
Of
yeah, I'll let
with
you talk
creating a
about it.
program
With creating a program and even with coming up
or
with the
picking the right
idea.
ideas. Okay, so
Yeah.
ooh, this is such a juicy topic. I do, as you know, I have a 3-day live event that we do nothing but talk about how do you create the program and how do you design it and how do you structure it and how do you promote it. So there's so much that goes around this. So
Just hold on for a second. So
yeah,
this live event, the live event, it's called High Profit.
it's called High Profit Programs.
Yes.
It's a 3-day live event. It's a workshop style where
Mm-hmm.
people can come and create a complete blueprint for their either next or first online program. And my promise for the event is that they can start selling their program before they even leave the event. Because they'll have
Awesome.
the title, the outline, how to promote it, how to market, what's going to be included in the program. So the whole entire package that you need to actually sell the program. So what I find that the three biggest things that stop people from creating a program is they don't have an idea, they don't know where to get started. And I actually have a gift that I can share with your people
Absolutely. Yes. What's
on
the
how.
gift?
So the link, so the gift is called 3 Steps to come up with a hot idea for your program. The
Awesome.
link is businesssuccessedge.com/3 steps and then S for spring, S18. And I'm sure you'll give people a
Yes,
link so it makes it easier
absolutely.
to
Yes,
click
yes,
on.
yes. We will give them the
Yeah,
link,
so
but it's good that you mentioned it.
and
Uh-huh.
it's a sort of a worksheet guide that's going to ask you about 20 questions that's going to help you guide yourself to come up with the idea based on your experience, your life story, your expertise, the knowledge you have, the experiences you've had, the things that people are already asking you about, and help you narrow down the best program topic you can come up with. So number one is, if you don't have the idea to come up with the program, download that guide. It will really help you. Number two is people think I have too many ideas. So
Mm-hmm.
that's exactly what you were talking about,
Yeah.
especially when we're women and we're creative and we're multi-talented. Like, what do I start with next? And in the challenge, I run a lot of online challenges, 5-day challenges. The challenge I'm running right now is called 6-Figure Idea 5-day challenge. And
Mm-hmm.
that's exactly what we're talking about. How do you narrow ideas down to pick the hottest, the most profitable, and the one that people will actually buy? And one of the first things I ask people to do on the first day is to make a list of all of their areas of expertise, because you definitely want to teach the program on something you already know, and then make a list of what your ideal clients are already searching for, looking for, and buying. And if you look at that list, and you can easily come up with like 20 different items on each list, then you're looking for the overlaps. And where they overlap is where your sweet spot is. That one is the easiest one to sell. That one is easiest one to market. And you pretty much just say, who needs help with this? And you already know there's a built-in audience that says, I've been looking for it for a long time. I'm so glad you finally came up with that. So
Awesome. Awesome.
that's,
So
yeah.
that's like a really detailed overview. Now, question, what would you
Mhm.
say to those who are like, oh, like they go into their own insecurities, like, am I really the expert? I know that I'm so passionate, but I'm not sure so what would you
Ooh.
say to those?
So, and that is actually the third thing. So the too many ideas, not enough ideas, or no ideas. And the third one is like you're not feeling yet like you're an expert. So first of all you need to know is, what are people already asking you about? Because if people can see your expertise, people always can see your expertise better than you can see it yourself. So if people are already
True.
reaching out to you and always asking you questions about Facebook bots, or always asking you questions, how are you so confident on stage? Or how are you so creating all of these interviews and inviting all these amazing people to talk to you every week? So whatever
Mhm.
those questions are, you can think about as like, oh, is that what I'm an expert in? Because people around me already recognize it. So that's one way of thinking of it. The second thing is, all you need to be is 2 steps ahead of the people who are looking for the solution. So it's actually sometimes nicer not to be so removed, because somebody who has a $1 billion business, it's really hard to relate to somebody who's just starting a business. So learning, like, you might have very different experiences, very different mindset, very different uh, view of life. However, if you just like a step ahead of someone, so
Mhm.
think about, if 2 years ago you knew what you knew now, would your life be better? Would your relationships be better? Would your business grow faster? So think of what you could have taught yourself 2 years ago from your perspective now, and
Mhm.
that could be exactly what your program is on.
Mhm. Another
Yes,
question. I can just anticipate. I'm going to bombard you with all these
that's
questions,
good.
and I just want our viewers to know that Alina is a true. If you haven't understood that by now, I can tell you from my personal experience, she is very detailed. She knows what she is doing. Because the coaching business, I just want to give you the live testimonial. It's coming from my heart, truly, because the coaching business is so saturated, and there are people out there who call themselves coaches but they don't really know what they're doing. So
Yeah.
your level of knowledge, and also the teaching expertise, like how to lay it out for people, seriously, it's very comprehensive, and it's step by step, and miraculously enough, you do combine both worlds, right? Just like I wrote a custom song for Alina,
Oh,
and
yes,
it's
she
in the,
did.
it's
Yeah.
in that. The line just came back to me. She combines both worlds, right? Left and
Yeah.
right, holding hands,
Yeah.
meaning the creativity and also the strategies and the logical part of the mind. So the question is, a lot of things, I mean, a lot of times people, I think when like you've said a lot of things, and they're thinking, oh my god, it's gonna take a while for me to create this program, and it's gonna be another investment with no result from the beginning. So what's the time frame? What's the, like, what would you say, how long does it take to create the program and
So
start getting results?
there's two different questions. One is how long before I can start selling it? That's the first question. Second is
Okay.
how long will it take me to create it? So the
Awesome.
first one is I can come up with an idea right now and sell a program right now. So it takes 2 seconds. It takes you
Before you even create it.
before you even create it. Don't
Awesome.
ever create a program any other way. You always want to sell your program before you create it because number one, it's a proof of concept. If somebody is giving you a credit card, that means there's people who are willing to pay for what you're going to create. Don't spend 3 months and spending time and effort and money creating something that nobody will ever want to buy. So many people fall into this trap. So first of all, you always want to sell before you create it, which
Mhm.
means I've taught, we were at a lunch at a conference with one of my good friends, and we, on a napkin, outlined her program. She went on a microphone at the next break at the event and sold, I think, 14 copies of her program. People were actually, she didn't even have a name for the program. You don't need to have anything. You just need to know what is the result your program is going to provide, and you need to know that that's something people want. So you can sell your program right away. And so it gives you proof of concept, it gives you money. So if you need to invest in something, maybe something to record your videos with, or something that maybe you need a VA to help you set up a few backend things or something. So it gives you sort of advance, like getting an advance on the book. And third is it's a point of no return. So if you struggle with procrastination or a perfectionism or anything that will actually hold you back from doing it, now, because you've said we're going to start on, let's say, March 1st, you have to start on March 1st. So you know it's going to happen. So
People
love
already
it.
get invested in you. Yeah.
Yes, yes, and
Hmm.
they're relying on you. So that's sort of how soon you can actually start making money on a program. You can start making money like 5 minutes after you came up with a great idea. Now, the actual creation could take a little bit longer, but normally when you run your programs, you run them live the first time, at least the first time, and some people keep running them live, some people make them evergreen after that, but usually it's 5 to 7 weeks. So you have 5 to 7 weeks to create that content. And so if you have a couple of weeks before the program actually starts, you can easily create maybe the first couple of modules, which just basically means you need to record some kind of video or audio, you need to create some templates and maybe worksheets, just enough to get people through the information that you want to present. And then all you need to do is basically stay ahead of them by a week, and you can create your program in those 5 or 7 weeks as you're teaching the course. So teaching it as you're going, getting the feedback, seeing what needs more explanation, tweaking it and adjusting. That's why I kind of recommend, well, I always recommend that you run your first program as a pilot. So your participants know that they're helping you build the program as they go, so they get the best experience out of it as well.
Awesome.
So I hope that
So
answers your question.
yes, it does. Now, question, clarification.
Sure.
When you said the first time you run the program live, it doesn't really mean that you get the people in the room, in the physical room. So what does it mean? You sort of,
Oh,
yeah.
sure. So live just means that, so the format I like for the very first time you run a program is I like it's called reverse classroom. Like normal standard classroom, if you look at any university or any school, is you show up to class, somebody lectures at you, then you go home and you do homework. So the experience kind of and the practical applications happen at home, and then you basically sitting there for an hour, totally bored, listening to somebody teach. So the reverse classroom delivers information to you, so in a video form or sometimes it's PDFs, so you consume the information at your own pace ahead of the time where you're actually meeting. So what I do is on Monday, all of my people will get access to videos for module one. They have several days to watch through it, pause, repeat, review, whatever they need to do whenever it's convenient to them. And then on, let's say, Thursday or Friday, we would have a group call where they can come and ask specific questions about that module. So we record everything. So they have the videos for the program and they have the videos for the Q&A calls. And that's how you build your program. So you deliver the information and then you review the specific applications and how it applies to different people and how they, whatever questions they have at that time. After you do it for the first time and you already know what questions people usually ask, you can either create more modules, more videos addressing those questions, or include those Q&A calls from the first run, or just have a FAQ list to supplement your course. And then after that, you can just deliver it as a home study course at any time, and that's a great source of passive income.
Beautiful, beautiful. I think you've laid out everything about the online
Oh, so
program.
I didn't answer your question. So
Yeah.
live doesn't mean that you're actually in the same room live.
Yeah.
Live means that you somehow connect with people. It could be through the audio, like a phone call, like you can use like
Zoom.
freeteleconference.com if you just want to do a phone, or Zoom, like what we're using right now, a version of Zoom that allows you to
Mhm.
see people and them to see you. That's what I've been using for the last 3 years for all of my coaching calls. And then again, it's really easy to record. You have the video, you have the audio. So live doesn't mean you have to be in the same location. I have not done any online programs. That's the whole point of online programs. So you have virtual calls, virtual coaching calls or Q&A calls. And yeah, everything is happening uh, at people's homes.
Beautiful. Thank you so much. Alina, with this level of success that you've created, and I understand, we already understand that online programs are the backbone of your business. And you keep going, like you are so creative. It's like you're exploding with tons of programs every year. I just can't keep up with all of them. Now, a question: does fear still show up in any form or shape in your life, in your business?
Oh, every day.
Every day. So, would you
Well,
any tips?
probably in some form or another. I don't think we're going to be human. We are humans if we don't feel fear of something.
Okay. Any tips on overcoming? So, what do you do when it shows up?
Well, first of all, is acknowledge that you're afraid of something. Sometimes it's because I need to reach out to somebody who is way bigger than me. And I'm thinking, what if they say no? And then you basically just look at it and say, and analyze what's the worst that can happen, right? Well, if they say no, will my life be all that? Like my life will still be exactly the same, right? It's not going to
Mm-hmm.
ruin me. So why am I afraid of that? Or the fear could be like, oh, I'm putting this message out. What if nobody signs up? What if I'm doing a webinar and nobody shows up? You like every single time I get on the call, I still have like, oh, what if nobody comes on the call? And then there's like 100 people. Like, okay, but you have this like, what if? Because we always want to believe, and sometimes they don't show up, and it's like, oh, the link was wrong. But
Yeah.
you have those like, oh, nobody likes
Yeah.
me. So I think
No.
we're all go through that. But the main thing is like, whenever I feel any kind of fear, is to actually that instead of pushing it away or like stuffing it for later, that's kind of the worst way that I find to address fears, is to actually go deeper and see, okay, why does it make me feel this way? And what exactly the core, and then try to work on that or heal it or get some support. I have one of my coaches is the energy healer. So sometimes I would go to her and I would say, so I'm like really, and it's more shows up as an anxiety, like, oh, I'm really anxious about
Mm-hmm.
this issue, or ooh, like this just doesn't sit well. There's just, I don't feel positive about this. And then we just work through that on both strategic and philosophical and energetic level and mindset level. So just keep working on yourself, and then you won't experience it as much.
Awesome.
Yeah.
What's the best advice you've ever been given?
Oh, so one of my really good, one of my really good coaches, that didn't sound good. One of the coaches who made a huge impact in my life, I've heard it from him first, Christian Michelson, when I first switched from being a photographer and I was trying to find myself. And I was I'm a marketing expert and my visibility expert. So I went through a whole bunch of identity crisis iterations. And then he was the one who put me on this business coach and business strategy road, which turned out amazingly well. But one of the things he's always said is, well, one of the things is success is inevitable. It's just a matter of time. And the second thing is, if you make the decision, the universe will conspire to make it happen. You have to make that step, you have to make that jump, and whatever, like, all of the fears, insecurities, or blocks you're seeing in front of you, they will magically fall apart and will go away. Once you make a commitment, once you make a decision, once you say, this is what I want, and you set that intention, it's amazing how much support all of a sudden comes your way and how everything just starts working.
Yeah, awesome. So
Yes.
it's right right where I usually ask all the guests on one gem, at least one gem out of your treasure chest, because the program is called Dream Big with Zhanna, inspiring you to reignite, refire, and refuel your life. So what would be the wisdom from you? And before you answer, I just want to acknowledge you not only as a great business owner, not only as a creative, not only as a great pro in everything you do, but also as an amazing mom. Because I know you're too little. I mean, they're not little.
They're not that
They're
little.
not little. But your two girls are very talented, and I just see how much support they have from you. So in all of that, like the combination, and that's a topic. That's going to be a topic for another conversation. What would be the gem that you would pass on to your girls and to everybody who is watching and listening right now?
Well, actually, it's probably the same advice. So I have two teenage girls, and the same advice I would give to my clients and I would give to them. And that's, you are enough. And that's in any aspect of your life. Because as a teenager, as we all know, especially being a
Yeah.
girl, we all struggle with this whole peer pressure and who I am and finding yourself in life. And am I enough? Am I better? In this full comparison, there's all of that going on. And
Mm-hmm.
if you believe, truly believe that you're enough and you are awesomely weird, quirky yourself, and people will love you for that. Oh my gosh, that's just kind of makes me
I know,
all emotional. But
of course.
believing completely that who you are is what the world needs is a really um, it's a really good belief to have. And it goes the same for clients, because when they say, I want to create a program, but I don't feel it like an expert, it's the same advice. You are enough, and your sense of humor is great, and your Russian accent is exactly what people are going to love about you, and the way you approach it, and the traumas you had in your life. That's what makes you who you are, and you are enough. And this is exactly what the world needs and exactly who they want to hear from. So,
Oh my
yeah.
goodness. Yes, yes. Thank you so much. And it's liberating to be just yourself.
Yeah.
So
Oh my gosh, you made me
I
cry.
know, I know, I know, but
Yeah.
it just tells me a lot about how big of a heart you have and in everything you do. So tell us about the event. We want to give the link. I'm gonna be there, guys, also with
Yes.
Alina,
And you
and
get
it's
to
gonna
sing the song on stage. You get to
absolutely.
perform.
Yes, absolutely.
Mhm.
So during those 3 days, could you remind? I believe it's April the 15th
How
through
about March?
March. sorry,
Last year was in
March,
April.
yes,
Yes.
March 15th,
So
16th,
the
or
event is
17th.
March 15th through 17th. It's going to be in Phoenix. And there's like one of the things I love about this event, I get really, really amazing people coming to this event. Really smart, really amazing. And just being, take yourself out of your home, out of your box, out of your usual, regular daily environment, and put yourself among some amazing, brilliant, talented people who are experts in what they do, and they're trying to make a bigger impact and have bigger profits for their business. So just being in that environment alone could skyrocket your business. But I would love for you to come there so I can support you in actually coming up with your hot idea, your profitable topic, so you can create your program, so you can fill it, and you can serve so many more people. So the event is 3 days called High Profit Programs. I'm going to give you a link so people can sign up. Well, you can go businesssuccessedge.com/HPP, stands for High Profit Programs. You can go there right now and grab a ticket. And it's so much more than I can describe. You can listen to some of the testimonials I have there from people who attended this event in the past. But my promise is you're going to be fully supported, and I won't rest until you have an idea for your program that you know can add easily 6 figures to your bottom line in the next 12 months.
Yeah. So thank you so much. So we're gonna post the link, and I know it's an amazing event because
Mhm.
I
We're
I
there.
actually I attended, and it's really much more than you can expect. So what Alina just said is very, very true. I can attest to that. Really, really awesome event. Not only my opinion, but everybody who's been there. So really life changing. If you're serious about growing the business, bringing the revenue in, truly around the gifts that you have and not trying to be somebody else, that's the event to go to. So Alina, thank you so much for finding the time to be on the program. You
Sure.
guys, yeah, it's been my pleasure.
Mine
And
too.
yes, so you guys are watching Dream Big with Zhanna, inspiring you to reignite, refire, and refuel your life. If you have questions for Alina or for me, comment below. It's also going to be on YouTube. You can subscribe to Zhanna Shpits channel and ask over there. Share with people who you would love to bring with you to the event, and you're going to get only benefits and more benefits and more benefits. So thank you, thank you, thank you. Alina,
Thank you for
love
having me here. It
you.
was a pleasure.
Yeah. Okay. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.